Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Kim James Kuingwa, nor Cambridge Ahau. I am the National Community Care Manager for St John and I'm based here in Hamilton. Can you hear me okay? Great. Thanks. My background in community transport started 20 years ago in the rural community of Te Kuiti, where I supported the local community transport trust. Since then, oh great, thanks Sarah. Since then I've managed community transport services at a regional level for St John and now I'm managing at a national level. I'm pleased to be here today to tell you a little bit about St John Community Transport and the challenges and successes that come with delivering a community-based service in a national environment. You may recognise some of these challenges yourselves. I'm going to give you a quick overview of our operations and tell you why we're keen to support a national community transport voice in New Zealand. But first, let me show you a quick clip that depicts why I believe we're all in this.
I was looking for something to do with my time, rather than getting on my wife's nerves staying home all the time. And I basically saw an article in the local paper back in April calling for volunteers, applied, and we've had to go through quite a few rigorous checks to get accepted, including doing a first aid course and having driving checked.
The chat service is a lot of help. I've got a number in there, I ring up to do booking on a channel, and then they say, okay, your book, and they get the driver will ring me a day before, tell us what time you will be there. I started off with my left leg, I got surgery and then there for 5 days, and then I used Waitaki hospital for VN, and then I had to use the channel. 2 days a week. My physio said I'm going to finish here, go to the Westway, do some water walking and all that. He gave me a discharge paper from there, and I ended up going to Westway. And I used the shuttle service to take me down 2 times a week. So they put me in a gym class, so I do water walking and get for those 2 days.
I think we've enabled people that have difficulty in getting to medical appointments to be able to live there, to be able to do it easily. It's not necessarily that they couldn't do it otherwise, but often it saves family members having to take time off work. It helps doctors and hospitals not have no-shows. And most people are quite delighted. There's one lady earlier on who hasn't been out of the house in over 5 months, and it just has enabled her to get out and to do things. St John, of course, is a charity, so we rely upon the goodwill and the deep pockets of many, many people. This service is entirely free. There is no demand for any payment at all.
The thing is, it will cost me a lot of money if it wasn't for them, for the house shop. Well, not only that, the drivers themselves, they come to your door, knock on your door, help you out and all that sort of thing. You never get service like that anymore. These guys pop out of the van, help you in, things like that. Oh, a lot, yeah. Especially when they have volunteer drivers, that's something a day. So they're doing it from the heart, I reckon.
I don't think any of us are in it for any reward other than just, I suppose, the satisfaction of being able to help.
There we go. So that's a really heartwarming story, and I know there are many other community transport providers in this room who can relate to that story. This is why we do it. Yep. So we started out 29 years ago with one service, and that service delivered a few trips a week. They actually started out taking people to the prison to visit their loved ones. It wasn't even a health shuttle, but the demand for the service grew and evolved into a health shuttle service. Now we are delivering about 80,000 trips a year, and we have 37 services. The 65 plus population tidal wave, as it's called, is about to hit. And with that, we're predicting that the demand for community transport will ride that wave. You can see up here the amount of growth versus the amount of growth in the 65 plus and how much demand that has actually amounted to. And my clicker's not working. I might have to turn it on. Okay, so our challenges. St John is New Zealand's #1 trusted charity, and everything we do is in the public eye. We're highly accountable for every decision that we make, our behaviour and how we deliver our services. A classic example is when the media published a story and put a picture of one of our shuttles crossing a yellow centre line. It was a troublesome road, and this occurrence was common on this road. However, instead of choosing to put a picture of a car crossing the line, they chose to use a St John health shuttle for impact. So great for them, but not so much for us. We have over 700 volunteers delivering health shuttle services across the country. Each of those people is valuable in ensuring that the service is running, but they also have their own beliefs about what the uniform should look like, how our vehicles should be fitted out, whether they've got 5 wheels or 6 or 4, or so all of those sorts of things, and how they would like us to communicate with them and what reward and recognition looks like for them. So we try to understand this through regular feedback loops. However, we're having a large volunteer base means we don't always get it right. We need paid staff and managers to maintain the engine room of our service. They support service delivery by ensuring that the day-to-day needs and compliance, such as recruiting, booking, operating reports and data entry, is carried out in a timely and accurate manner. Convincing funders to support this aspect of the service is difficult because they like to see the more tangible aspect of the program, such as the vans. Public expectation of St John is high, and as such we want the people in Invercargill to receive the same service as they do in Russell. But maintaining a local flavour while ensuring consistent consumer demand is challenging. Decisions that need to be made nationally are not always popular at the grassroots. Community ownership versus national standards do not always meet in the middle. Although the shuttle service is a charitable service, our organisation holds a Transport Service licence, and that means that our vehicles are certified and have to have a current certificate of fitness. It ensures that we're operating vehicles to the highest standard that we can achieve. It does, however, limit the options of vehicles that our local services can choose from. So we're operating 37 services across the country, soon to be 41, and we have 68 vehicles. As you can see in this slide, while costs have increased by 28%, our income has only increased by 4%. Finding sustainable funding is always going to be an ongoing challenge for us. On the flip side, St John is a large and diverse organisation, and the brand opens doors to funding, and most people don't mind giving a donation if they can. Our size creates buying power for procuring vehicles and equipment and means we have access to resources such as human resources, financial and ICT services. One of our volunteers developed a database for us, and it records all our booking and operating information. He did this out of his own goodwill, and it's such a great tool that we use it nationally now. We're very blessed that he maintains this voluntarily for us. So why do we want to support a national voice for community transport? 3 years ago, a national strategy was developed for community transport for St John. The development of the strategy showed that we're rich in support and resources that other providers may not have access to. and that if we all work together, we can possibly achieve a lot more. Our services exist only through the goodwill of our communities, and we owe it to them to ensure we use our resources to the best of our ability. We have a strategic goal of working alongside other providers to advocate for more support at a national level. We believe that having a national voice will lead to better and stronger support for those who are providing community transport. After all, think, what would happen if we were all to fold tomorrow? Thank you for your time. There are copies of our social impact report still available if anyone would like one. Let's celebrate the difference we make for transport disadvantaged people and join in supporting each other. Thank you.